let's get into it. I just want to break down today's session, basically what happened today, and then you can enjoy the live trading session here. I really want to break this down because I feel like there's a lot of key lessons in this today. Um, who knows? I might start, a new series just called Market Recap, and we just break down what happened after market closes. I know a lot of people learn from that, but today is a really important day, and I felt like this is very valuable to share with you guys, so I just wanted to do that. So coming into today, right, my pre-market plan here was both SPY, QQQ sitting above the previous day high. I am bullish bias coming into today on the overall market. QQQ is sitting right under our 617, a key resistance level on the daily. Let's see if we can turn this into support. If we reject this, we can see a lot of downside on this overall market. And the main lesson with this is, you hear a lot of people say, don't come into the market with a bias. I actually disagree with that. You can come into the market with a bias. Where you go wrong as a beginner trader is coming into the market marrying a bias. Those are two different things. So in other words, marrying a bias is just a nice way of saying don't be stubborn. You're being stubborn if you marry a bias. And what does that mean? That means, hey, you have a bullish bias coming into the market and you see a break and retest set up for the upside, and you can look and see, yeah, today the bulls are not in control, but you take that trade anyway. Of course, that's okay if you're able to spot divergence against the overall market, which is what I did today. This ended up working out beautifully on Microsoft, took a break and retest on Microsoft to the upside, even though the overall market was pulling back. But this is number one. This is the main thing, right? You can go into the market with a bias, but just don't marry a bias. You have to be open to both ways, seeing what the market is doing, or see if you can spot relative weakness or strength compared to the market. So I really wanted to give that word of advice. Don't marry a bias. So let's zoom out here on the daily. And as I always say, history likes to repeat itself. Respect your key levels. You got to respect the key levels. So I know coming into today, such as myself, I just showed you, I said, hey, I'm bullish bias, but 617, that's our key level here. What do we do? And I love the confluence with 617.20 coming into today. Why? It's also the previous day high and a daily resistance level. If we get above that, we can definitely see some upside here, getting back, right? Reclaiming 617, the bottom of this range, and we can see the top of the range. But that did not happen today. And all we have to do is look left. This was a very important thing. And, I break this down during pre-market. You'll see here in a sec for that live trading session. I said, hey, right, this is going to be a big deal. Do we push up into 617.20 and reject? And that's exactly what we did during the pre-market. So when in doubt, zoom out. Respect your key levels. See what's going on in the higher time frame. That's going to help you navigate what you're going to do. So if you came into today's session and you don't have really key levels marked out on the higher time frame and you're just looking at the previous day high, you're not understanding. If you look for a long over this previous day high, you're going long into a daily resistance level. You can see resistance, we turned that into, support, we turned it into resistance. We got to pop back up into it again and still resistance. So solid here on Qs, just higher time frame, key levels being respected. And that is basically what led to the downside in this market. We can go here on SPY as well, right? Key level, line in the sand with 690.30. If we give this up, we can see a lot more downside on this market. Why? Like I always say, the break and retest happens on every single time frame. And you'll hear me explain this during the pre-market here. Just because we broke above doesn't mean we're in the clear. And this is what you call a good old peak and fail. So what you call a good peak and fail. Yesterday, we got the break. We got the displacement. What do we need for this breakout to be valid? The retest off our key level. And it's a weekly level. The higher the time frame, the stronger the level. So guess what? We pulled back today. We did not retest that level. A peak and fail. It wasn't a valid move. So key level here today was 690.30. Do we turn it into support or do we turn it back into resistance? If we get under it, we can see the bottom of the range. And that's exactly what happened here today. Another thing, I love the correlation here with SPY. It's a weekly level and it was the previous day low. So if we get under and sellers can, get back under a weekly level, we can definitely see some downside here. And this is what really melted the market to the downside. SPY giving up 690.30 and QQQ rejecting that 617. So hope this helps. I thought this was really solid. I know a lot of people came into today, with a bullish bias stance, such as myself, but I did not marry a bias. Today was a lot, right? We had a gap, so we ended up filling the gap to the downside on a lot of names like Tesla, Qs, SPY. A lot of names gapped up yesterday. We had a gap and go, and today we restored balance and we filled those gaps, and now we're just back in a channel. So hope this helps. Something you should always remember: when in doubt, zoom out. Enjoy the live trading session here, and I will see you guys on the next. Okay, so coming into today, so I got to mark out your key levels. So we can see we are rejecting 617.20 on the dot. Like I said, coming into the pre-market today and the close watch list, this was a big breakout. We need to retest this. This is a valid move. We need to retest this. On the bright side, we're really not opening the market with a gap. That's good. This is our key level. Very strong resistance level, as we can see here. All we have to do is zoom out here on the daily, and we cannot forget 617.20. So if we see, a failure here, not surprised. So we could definitely see a pullback to 213.20 for that retest coming into market open. If that sets up, just playing the rejection here off of 617.20, right? And then if we fall under 613.20, we could really see a lot more downside on today. But I am bullish biased, but right, I'm not going to marry a bias. Right, we have to see what happens here. We're rejecting our 617.20, so we'll see what sets up here on the Qs. SPY, let's see if we can hold above the previous day high. Right now we're falling under it, so we'll see what sets up here on the SPY. We already swept this liquidity, so if we fall under it and Qs wants to pull back and stay heavy, I wouldn't be too surprised. As for my close watches, right, what do we do here on Tesla? Tesla's really just been sitting sideways here at our 415.40. This is a key level. I'm neutral on Tesla. I'm open to both ways here on Tesla. This was the previous day close, so if we get a break and retest above it, it's a gap fill play to the upside. We're bullish bias over 415, and then we can also target this previous day high. And you can see our 415 here being respected as a resistance level during the pre-market. And then if Qs wants to stay heavy, a pop and fade off of that, targeting this previous day low will be solid as well. And even under this previous day low, we have a gap to fill on Tesla. So 415 is the key level here. I'll be watching Microsoft. Microsoft is showing me some relative strength right now during the pre-market. We're sitting above a weekly level. We're sitting above the previous day high. So we'll see what sets up here on Microsoft. It's going to be my close watch. You can see showing some relative strength, I should say, during the pre-market. Right, sitting above the previous day high. We're turning this weekly 401 into support. We'll see. We will see what happens on Microsoft. NVIDIA, like I said, will this be a peak and fail? Right, this is the things that, as beginner traders, you want to learn. You don't want to wag your tail after we get such a big breakout. We've been seeing a lot of peak and fails. All we have to do is zoom out here on the daily, and you can see here on NVIDIA, every time, we got above 192.95, instant rejection. So if we fall today, and we're pulling back pretty heavy right now, if we fall today under 192.95, we're back in this range. It was just a peak and fell. That's all that was. So I'm very open to shorting NVIDIA under 192.95. If we're above that, I'm pretty much bullish bias. Not really looking to short unless we fall under 192.95. I love the confluence here if this sets up to the downside. Why? Because we're under earnings low, we're under the previous day low, and we're getting back under a weekly level. So big deal here. We're going to see what sets up, and then may not even take a trade on a video. We'll see. Right, the IV sitting at 126, so I still have to wait for this IV to cool off anyway. And then Apple. All right, so Apple showing some relative strength right now during the pre-market. We're getting above this previous day high, so I will be watching Apple as well as one of my side watches. So a couple of things setting up here. We got about a minute left to market open, but Apple over the previous day high looks good. We'll see what sets up on, yeah, Microsoft just ripped. I don't know, my game may change now. It may change. We did gap up, so if we see a pullback here, that's possible. But this is really the objective that I was looking for. Sometimes you just don't get it. Break and retest, pre-market 401, you got that push into 404. Yeah, Hughes is rejecting this 617.20 on the dot. So we'll see what sets up here. Yeah, SPY is under the previous day low now. I'm sorry, the previous day high. We'll see. Okay, very strong open. So relative strength on Tesla, relative strength on Apple. Okay, instant rejection on Tesla. Market pulling back very heavy. What we're seeing right now is that 617 rejection off of QQQ at the top of the range. It's exactly what we're seeing. NVIDIA IV still elevated. Can't touch that if I want to. Very strong pullback here on the overall market. I do have Apple to my left-hand side. I'm watching this over the previous day high. Right now, Microsoft is filling the gap here. Let's see what Microsoft does. Tesla falls under this previous day low. We do have a gap fill down to 410. Market's bouncing, so we'll see. Okay, IV dropped on the video, so okay. I'm looking at the video here. Looking at the video clips here, it was a peak and fell. We did not hold this whatsoever. Market staying heavy. Yep. Tesla under previous day low is solid too. If I can get a retest there, market's pulling back. Need a little bit more displacement on Tesla. Tesla has this gap fill down to 410. Let's see what Q's does. We do need to retest 613.20. Are we going to defend that or not? We'll see. Microsoft under 401.25 is solid too. It's a weekly level. Instant retest here on Tesla. I'm just being a little cautious shorting right now until we break under 613.20. Do we defend that or do we give it up? We're seeing a rejection at the top of the range, 617. Okay. Seeing some buyers step up here on Qs at 613.20. You ended up getting an instant break and retest here on Tesla, just not enough displacement before that retest. Right now, watching Microsoft, straight downside here on NVIDIA, not a single pullback. Very strong open to the downside on all these names. Only Tesla gave us an instant retest. Microsoft is in play right now. It's filling the gap. We can see some downside on this market if Qs breaks under 613.20. So I am eyeing Microsoft right now for a break and retest under 401. Wasn't able to get Tesla. I was looking for that. Microsoft retesting this, but I'm not looking to long anything with this market pulling back this aggressively. We'll see what Q's does here. I'm looking at this on the 1 minute as well. Tesla filled this gap. For Microsoft, I would be looking at the 400 puts on Microsoft. 400 puts. It's really the only thing sitting near key level for me right now. We'll see. Q's is trying to defend this. Okay, Q's is defending this. Big wick off of that. I'm looking at Q's on the 1 minute. If we can break structure here, we just broke from forming a lower low. Yeah, solid hold here. It's a good retest here on Microsoft. You're just seeing that hold with Q's. Right now in Q's though, I'm waiting to see, do we break structure? Because we're pulling back, but it could just be a lower low forming. Big wick on the Q's. I'm focused on NVIDIA too, just off a key level. Tesla's move already happened. This was just a break and retest gap fill play. Tesla's not really sitting near a key level, so I'm not too worried about it. As of right now, market is bearish intraday until we break structure, so I'm not really looking to long anything. Microsoft was a good retest here. I just don't want to trade against this market because now Q's is about to break 613.20 again. Right? See how quick that just seller stepped in? So being patient here. Yeah, big flush. So that was just a lower low that formed here on Q's. Solid on Microsoft. Very solid. Really nothing on Apple for me. Yeah, that was just a solid built a gap, retested, and you got this bounce off of 401. Just did not get in alignment with the market. SPY is trending lower, making lower lows. SPY is actually weaker than Q's. So we'll see here. I didn't get an alert on AMD. So this is a retest on Q, so I'm hoping we can hold this. Yeah, that was solid on Microsoft. Okay, Q's is trying to hold 613.20. I think the downside on most of these names were just way too heavy. You can see Tesla making lower lows. NVIDIA is making lower lows. We can get under that. We can see some downside. So yeah, a little bit of relative strength here on Microsoft. SPY is trending to the downside. Yeah, the only outliner here was really Microsoft. It's just hard for me to take that long while Q's was breaking 613.20. That was just, these conditions is way too risky for me, or too aggressive, I should say. You can see a lot of these names are pulling back. Yeah, Q's is giving up 613.20. NVIDIA is very bearish. We're under earnings low. We're back under 192. We're under the previous day low. The bears are in control here on NVIDIA. SPY is weaker than Q's. Like I said, we already swept this liquidity. Wouldn't be surprised if we reject it. I don't really care to take Tesla off a previous day low. Just not with its price action and where it's sitting. Yeah, not too much setups for me. Yeah, Amazon inside bar day, not the best price action. Palantir. That's crazy. You just said that as I as I switch to this. Yeah, Palantir does look strong. Relative strength on this name. Yeah, Q's is giving up this yeah, Q's is giving up 613.20. Starting to see this rejection. Let's see what Palantir does. Let's see. Yeah, NVIDIA's gone. There's nothing here. That would be very crazy if we just went from the top of the range all the way back down to 183.70. That would be wild. See what Palantir does. I need a strong displacement candle over Palantir. We can hold above this. I think we can see 138. Relative weakness. I'm sorry, relative strength here on this name. Q's hasn't given up 613.20 yet. We're battling it around it, but we haven't given it up yet. Let's see. I'm looking at the 137 calls on Palantir. Let's see if I can get a retest here. Let's see. Breakout was 136.09. A little bit more displacement. Yeah, Q's is actually starting to give up this 613.20. Yeah, Microsoft was like really right off the pre-market plan, played out perfectly. Just when this thing was pulling back, Q's was breaking 613.20. That was just too an aggressive entry for me. Real displacement is 136. Yeah, the failure you see right here is Q's finally giving up this weekly key level. It'd be different if I was like looking at this off a higher time frame key level, but yeah, the only thing I said was like an instant break and retest off the previous day low on Tesla, and then the pullback long here on 4125 on Microsoft. It just sucks that this pullback aligned with Q's pullback and breaking 613.20. We'll see. It's kind of like right on the dot. Like this thing rejected 617 on the dot. Let's see what happens here. I don't feel like Microsoft is overextended. I wouldn't mind trying Microsoft at like a starter position. Maybe we could see 408. Like I said, Q's did not give up this weekly yet. It's defending this for sure. Let's see. It would be 407. I don't really like that. If I were to play Microsoft, it would be at the money contracts. I need a little bit more displacement though. And see this pretty much rejection near this high day. See what sets up. Yeah, Q's is definitely giving up this now. Yeah, you can see here. Let's see. Maybe I get some clean price action, just nowhere near Q level. Pretty unfortunate. Apple did pull back and hold this 273.40, but rejected the previous day high. It was solid for a side watch. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Microsoft showing some relative strength. I would not want to go long into this high day. You got a hammer stick candle off of that too. Bearish on the intraday on the market. All right, we gave this up. We tried to hold this. You can see this 15-minute wait. Now we just gave this up. Crazy. Basically just gave up yesterday's entire move right at open. That's 617, man. That's a strong level. So we can get a deep enough pullback to AMD. AMD under 203 is solid. It's a gap fill play as well under the previous day low. Thing is, I feel like we might be a little extended. SPY, yeah, SPY gives up 690.30, which is also pretty much the previous day low. It's gone. You can see SPY just trending to the downside. We do need to retest 690.30 on the daily, so we'll see. But if Q's is this heavy, I don't think we'll hold. We'll see. Yeah, that's wild on the video. We opened at 194. At 194.30. We're at 188. Let's see if we can see a retest on Microsoft. Maybe for like a scalp back up to the high day. Let's see. Let's see if Palantir can give us a retest here. See if Microsoft can give us a retest here. This is the displacement you would want on both of these names. So let's just see if we can actually get a retest. Uh, hmm. We hit this 138 objective on Palantir, probably hands off on a previous day high long. Where do we open? 133. We're sitting at 137. Not too extended. Well, more conservative play. If I do get a retest here on Microsoft, I would play at the money cons. But the thing right now is TQs is like starting to fall very heavy. Just straight downside on the market. If SPY gives up 690.30, we can definitely see some more downside. Just trying to hold though. Yeah, at the money cons on Microsoft has like the most volume and open interest anyway. Just a 405 calls. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking at the 405 calls on Microsoft. Qs and SPY pulling back very heavy. SPY gives up 690.30. Can see some downside here. They're very aggressive. Yeah, this market's pulling back heavy. At the money calls would be Yeah, the strike prices are just changing very aggressively. Now at the money's like 402.50. I'm still looking at the 405 calls here. Nope. I don't see any buyer step in. I'm not taking this. Like I said, if SPY gave up this weekly level, we could definitely see some more downside. I can see strong buyer step up here on Microsoft. I'll give it a shot. 405 calls. SPY's retesting this weekly though. All right, I'm long Microsoft. Very tight stop. Very tight stop. All right, solid push here. Sold a third there into that push. Buying cues is pushing, so we'll see. Those contracts went like 7% instantly, so pretty much in a risk-free trade, even if I get stopped out. But I'm hoping this relative strength can hold up. See if this can hold. I need Microsoft to do what Tesla and Palantir is doing. Solid push here. See if we can. Nice. I still have a third of my position left. It's a risk-free trade. So let's see what happens. These contracts actually went very well, to be honest. See if we can get some continuation here to this high day. I mean, this is the break and retest, break retest, 485. Very nice. I want to see if we can get maybe see a little resistance here. Yeah. Stop loss on the rest is break even for me. Contract moved very well. That's almost like a $2 move. I understand it was basically a scout. I'm gonna stop out on break even on the rest. It's a solid trade. I understand we're pretty extended. We're holding. We're holding. Okay, nice. Let's see if we can get it pushed up into like 406.14. Yeah, this looks good. Let's see. I'll probably sell five there. It's a really good trade. Really good trade. A base hit trade. Like net P&L is like over 10% for me on this. I just understand that momentum is pretty much gone, right? The real move was way down here at our weekly. Our real move was like down here at 4-1. So I know we're a little extended, a little exhausted. These contracts are moving. These contracts are printing. These contracts are printing right now. Like I have five left. They're making a lot. These last five contracts are already at $300. Were you able to get in this, Logan? This Microsoft trade? Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Did you take it on this one? You took it on this retest? 136. Oh yeah, dude, you got a solid entry. That was a good scout. All right, I'm out. That was a good trade. Solid trade. Just from here to here, it's like almost a $2 move. I got out on the rest there. That was a great trade. See, that's why I scaled the way that I did. My first scale, I was kind of surprised how quick those contracts moved. It's like at 7%, and I just took a third off there. But that was still a great trade. Yeah. Good way to catch Palantir. That was a nice trade. I was looking at Palantir too. The only reason I went with Microsoft is just because I'd rather just have taken it off a key level on the higher time frame. Solid day. It's fun. I was just teaching you guys yesterday. One of my favorite setups is divergence against the market. I mean, look at SPY, look at Qs, but look at Microsoft. This is the trade I really, really wanted. That was like the moneymaker. It was still a little too early. This was very aggressive. Let's see, we got this retest at, yeah, not even 10 minutes after market open. So for me, it was just too aggressive of an entry. With Qs also fell in that weekly 61320. So These are one of those trades where I say you got to know the difference between missing a trade and skipping a trade. I ended up just skipping this. I really wanted this one, but it was just hard with trusting this that early at open with just the overall market trending to the downside. Was still able to catch one. And then this was solid, right? Like I said, when we broke here, I need more displacement because you can see there's sellers sitting up here at this high day, waited for proper displacement, and then just waited for that retest, waited for strong buyers to step up and got that push. So just like super patient there. When I looked at the when I looked, oh, okay, nice. The one of the most important words in trading is confluence. Confluence equals higher probability. So if you took a trade off the previous day high that also aligned with a daily level, that's a great shot. That's a great shot. Super cool that you right, you took your own trade too. You knew what you were looking for. That was solid. Right. If I would have saw buyers step up on this retest, then you can enter on a reclaim entry with momentum. But whenever you get a break and then no buyer step up, then I wait for another break and retest. I hope that makes sense. Knowing when to take a reclaim entry is very important. Like that can help you really catch moves like this, right? You can catch these big momentum moves if there's a reclaim entry that sets up, right? On a reclaim, like this great example, you get a break, you get a retest, buyers defend, push it higher than we fell. That means if we get over it again with momentum, you can look to take that entry on that momentum push. You don't have to wait for the retest again. And sometimes the reclaim entries are the best. Why? Because now you're going to catch a momentum move to the upside. So good trade on you, dude. Just make sure you journal like what you did right, what you were looking at. I was really hoping we could see the high day here, but I knew we were a little extended, both on Palantir and Microsoft. I knew we were a little extended. Palantir opened at 133.18. High day is 137. Microsoft 401.25 on the dot, actually, which is crazy. On the dot, we respected that key level and then pushed up to 407. So solid here. Good day. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to catch anything today. Yeah, just damn, that's wild, dude. We just gave back this entire move from yesterday under the previous day low. We did fill the gap here on SPY, filled the gap. Another peak and fell. This is literally everything I've been saying on Qs. I've been saying this. It's like we'll get above 606. We got above, it looked promising, rejected. We got above, looked promising, rejected. We got above, looked very promising. And so far, we're giving this move right back. 617.20, very strong key level here. That's why coming into market open, you always want to do a top-down analysis. Like I remember this week like yesterday. Like every day we just kept pushing up into 417, 617.20 and just rejecting. And then today another big rejection off that level. Dang, that sucks. Like we're still in a channel, but the way I'm looking at this based on structure, it's like we push into all-time high, and now we're making lower lows. Like this would have been a big deal. That would have been like really a break of structure, but we're still forming lower lows here. So if or when we give up 599, that's just a lower low forming. So we needed this to break for that break of structure. So the Bears are still in control, even though we're in a channel. And that sucks. And we're back under last week's highs. AMD finally breaking. Did you play at the money cons on Palantir or a strike out of the money? Curious. Oh, nice. I know those contracts move pretty well then. I was just being conservative because I knew we were a little overextended. So I was like, man, what are the odds of this? Like, nice. Yeah, that was a really good trade. I know those contracts move very well because I played at the money on on Microsoft, and those contracts were printing. I'm very shocked. I only played at the money because we were a little extended. And I was like, yeah, okay, what is the likelihood of this actually hitting my strike price? Really wanted that high day, but solid trade, dude. Solid trade. Just me and you today, but we got it done. We got paid. Solid day. Yeah, gave these up instantly. No, you've been here the whole time? No, you just got here, right? Yeah, you're right, Logan. We are starting to see some more opportunities. It's a lot easier once we get out of this range. Oh no, what did you? Oh, I'm sorry, but I didn't even see you were here. I thought it was just Logan. But all right, nice trade. Were you able to get a good move on Microsoft, Noah? And this whole time I thought it was just Logan to die. My bad. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, this downside is really it was really SPY. Once SPY gave up 690.30, dang, dude, that's wild. It's wild. It just shows you the power of key levels. Like, see how the price action's just like. I also had a further out on Robinhood, so that made sense. Oh, nice. Okay, solid. So yeah, we kind of just had like this slow grind, and then as soon as we break a key level, just strong flush to the downside. So whenever I get a break and retest off a weekly, those are my favorite setups. Because like I said yesterday, preparing for today, you don't get a break and retest off a weekly level every day, right? Maybe depending on the name, you'll get that like what once a week, maybe twice a week. So it's very important to pay attention to weekly levels. But man, I mean, technically, yeah, if you were looking for the SPY, technically you got a break and a retest. Never really got a candle closure above this candle that broke it. So targeting that lower day, that would have been solid. Let me go here on the daily, see what we did really quick. Dang, that's wild, bro. Well, we filled the gap. We just gave up yesterday's entire move. That looked really promising and just straight rejection. So good old peak and fell. Let's see what Nvidia did. That's why you can't come into the day mirroring a bias because I know a lot of people probably came in today and where it was sitting, the overall market. So Nvidia got you again, right? Just that peak and fell. We're already back at the bottom of the range. We've just been playing ping pong here. It's wild. So I'm actually going to draw this back out. Give me one sec. Sucks. Definitely sucks on the video. It looked like we were finally going to break outside of this channel on the weekly, and now we're just back inside of it. A lot of sellers sitting in here still. Looks a little too dark red. No, that's fine. Okay. Wow, that's wild, dude. Just instant slap on the video. That sucks. What can you do, right? All you got to do is just adapt. I wanted to see us turn this channel into support. That looked really promising. Really, really promising. So just a peek and fail. Let's see. Crazy. Yeah. She's gone. Noah, would you buy a six? Expecting it to pop up next week, 690. I like how you're thinking now, though. Definitely like how you're thinking. Like pull back longs. Because that's the thing about SPY. Like year to date, the market's not even down 2%, like barely 2%. The market is very bullish. SPY. Let me go here on the weekly. Let's see. Honestly, Noah, if you would want to look to buy like swing SPY to the upside, I would say your best bet is right here, waiting for a pullback to 677. You can just look to the left here, the bottom. Every time we get down here, buy or step up. That's really your best bet. To go long at the bottom of this weekly channel, that's your best bet. You have the right idea. Like you're thinking about it the correct way. Yeah, I would wait a little longer. Like if you want, you can set an alert like at really, yeah, this 677.25. 677.25. That's your best bet. See what happens there. You can see pretty much another inside bar week. Nah, I don't think so. I don't. We'll see how tomorrow goes, but I doubt it because right now price is sitting at 685. That's a big move to the downside. That's a big move. Yeah, that would be insane. That'd be scary actually. So I would say, right, just be patient. I would set an alert. I'll even set one for you just so I can watch it as well. But good job. Like, you're thinking about it the right way. Like this market is still very bullish. Like long term, I would not be looking to, short SPY. And then you said 3, 6. Honestly, bro, I mean, if you really want to look to swing SPY and just sit in this and let it play out, I would play maybe like the end of the month, like 3 weeks or end of the month, like actually give it time so you can just like get paid on that. Just because it's sitting in a channel, right? So we are bullish on the higher time frame, but we are sitting in a channel. So you would want this to be able to like give you some time. So I would say max if you want to look to swing SPY to like 3 weeks out. That would be a solid time frame, like 3 weeks to a month out. You can play 2 weeks out depending on what you're looking for, but to get from the bottom of the range, like when you look at this on the weekly time frame, you can see it takes about a solid week for us to get from 677 back up to 690. Like that's pretty much been the pattern here. It takes us about a full trading week to get back to the top of the range. So 2 to 3 weeks is solid just to give yourself some time, just in case we push up and then maybe we consolidate in the middle of this. But you got the right idea. If you were looking for a swing entry, I would just wait for a pullback long off of 677.25. That would be a great entry. Very tight risk. Very, very tight risk. You can see the last time, yeah, bro, since November. Since November, we have been above 677.25. Very strong key level here on the weekly. So that's your best bet, to be honest. Solid. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of these names gave up today. Right, Tesla, we know, long or short off of 415. Just never got an entry, just instant rejection. Instant rejection off Tesla. What did Apple do? Yeah, just have to read the market here. Pull back long or short off of 273.40. Never got a retest here. You just flushed right under. Yeah, solid day today, guys. Last 2 weeks have been pretty good, actually. Let's see. I'm gonna call it here. But yeah, I'll set an alert for you, Noah. So even I'll get alerted if or when that level does get hit for SPY. Like I said, right now, just focus on the base hits. It's been some good trading sessions. Until the market breaks out of the range, that's when you would want to like, okay, add more and step on the gas. But other than that, just focus on base hits right now. Like Nuke giving us some more opportunities as we break outside of this channel, but we're still in a range. Yeah, we're still in a range. Solid 2 weeks though. Sucks we gave this move back, but we're just playing ping pong here. Let's see what we did on IWM. Yeah, IWM looks the worst. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, just in a range. All right, good stuff today, guys. I will have the trade recap out later. Pre-market plan coming into tomorrow's session, and then I will see you guys in the morning.